Welcome back. Welcome back here on another day of the Astro Gravitational Report. Thank you so much for the clicks, likes, the share, the subscribe, the following, and so on with this. Uh, what should I start? I think that one of the main things we should start at is beginning to feeling the energy of maturity and love. Particularly that Venus is exactly squaring Jupiter. This is a this typical Aries energy of I want to control the love. Okay, where do you learn that though? How do you learn this? It's tied up to the H1. Okay, H1 even may don't realize it and so on. But if anything, it is about you, like you're hungry, you pee, whatever, as a baby, poop, right? This is when you start making noises as expectations that mom's gonna come right away to taking care of you. And with these ways, you learn it that that's the way you attracting the things to be taken care of. So every time when there is something happens down the road, particularly with people who have a Venus in the areas, to pay attention on that, what happens? You start crying, you start throwing a tantrums, right? The horrible twos, because you continue to practicing that particular energy. But that particular energy right now, it's not going to leading to growth. Okay, because Venus, it is squaring Jupiter, who is in where? In the family. Okay, so with this suppression, there's going to be some lots of needing of maturity, which is this problem is going to be overcome. Are you whining and complaining and moaning about it that certain things doesn't grow right now? Are you having issues of that values and love that it comes in to be presented to you the way you wanted it? However, ask yourself, where did you learn that? Take a look what you have in areas, but also take a look at it, what it is with these combinations and planets that it comes in. It's what the triggers are is right now. Hi, Nimira. Glad to see you here. We're gonna have a lot of other things happening. Mercury is with the North Node. He's gonna be preparing to be. He's gonna start slowing down a little bit. He's gonna be preparing to be a stationary. There we have some Mars who actually are trining Jupiter, and now this is the power of the soul. This is the power of the soul. Is like, hey, look at what's in your soul. What you're doing, whining, complaining, and mourning about it just to get this attention from mama, and this attention's about love and money, don't you think is too much? Maybe you should have to grow. So those two, this is going to be a feminine and masculine's energies that is going to be with this. Even though that Venus, in a way, it is progressive. Okay, this is a new way of love that you need to learn. Venus is what? She is going to be a squaring with the inner work at 7 o'clock in the morning. Some of the issues that can be really tied up to your job. Do you love your job? Does the people who you're working, they have to love you? You know, you're trying to attach these emotional connections with the work in there. How that it's particularly within yourself, right? Your coworker likes you, appreciates you, and so on. They admire you, right? Okay. So is that proper for the business environment? Okay. So in this kind of like of case, there's going to be some lots of revaluations is going to be coming in. There. Hi, Hippo. Glad to have you here. And we're going to see some of these energies of about, okay, wait a minute, what are we doing? Why do I ask him for my coworkers to like me? Okay, because right now that the energies about love and values that it's coming in towards us is going to be some needing of this. And we have to take some new positions. Also, there is a new moon. Okay. The new moon happened at 1 o'clock in the morning, but you were waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning with these energies. So with that being said, the sun, the moon, right there. We are getting into those positions of that moon, but already the moon moves where? She already moved through Neptune, and right now we are waking up with what? With the moon and Aries. That is, she's gonna be like, I need to look at this new visions. I gotta look at this new structure. And then the moon is gonna be what? Later on, the moon tomorrow, she's gonna be meeting Venus. We're gonna see some of these energies, what as it comes in, but the intuition is gonna be like, wait a minute. You don't always have to ask me about helping you create this comfort zone and so on and so on and so on. Okay? In the psychology, if you're going there and you want to become a parent, talking about both masculine and feminine in there, take a look in the psychology. In the psychology, they're advising the parents that if the baby's crying, do not go right away. Let them cry for a little bit and then learn to that everything's going to be okay. It doesn't have to all the time crying. And this is going to be stopping these tantrums at the age of 2. This is going to be stopping that old patterns in there. Okay, I'm really suggesting you to go ahead and read this because it's very interesting how this is tied up to astrology. All right, so this is pretty much what the day will be. At 8 o'clock, we are going to see some this kind of like a thirst for creating structure. It has to be, this has to be put it away. I have to organize my office. I gotta organizing this. I gotta organize my new life. Okay, you're gonna see this energy that it comes in, and also there's gonna be a what? You're gonna be looking at in the soul how to organize it with what? With the karma. Why? Saturn is the karmic ruler. The moon, it's gonna go and unite with Saturn. Is my new karma that I am going to go is actually the road that I need to take. You're gonna be asking yourself those questions. And now it's like, okay, you are there, you're in the new road. It's like, okay, imagine that someone gives you a clean slate. You have no karma. And they say you have to evolve, and whatever you make, that's what it's going to be. What are you going to make it? How's your consciousness will be if you are asked to create the new earth? Have you evolved to that level of positions to be aware of the consequences of your actions? And that's what Saturn is going to be giving it to that moon. It's going to be like, wait a minute, because he's also limitations. Okay? Hold on your horses, hold on your emotions, but think about with your intuition where it leads you. How you going to be doing it? Because the intuition can tell you the consequences of your actions. So with that energy also is going to be some very good because Mars is going to be grow the actions of soul. Act based out of that. All right, 9 o'clock, the inner work that's going to be some at Aquarius is going to be exactly with Pluto. We've seen these energies that right now Pluto, it is sextiling Neptune, the moon, the sun, and Uranus is sextiling the Saturn, the moon, Neptune, and the sun. Okay, all this energies that it's coming in within this is gonna beginning to help. The big guys are helping out. Okay, sudden changes are coming. Are you flexible to accepting the changes? That is going to be Uranus. Are you ready to look at this new beginnings within yourself? Because right now the intuition is going to learn and authority is going to come after to accept. Okay, the moon is beginning this new cycle, and actually that new cycle, that new moon that is going to be having at Pisces that we had it overnight, that is it about one thing: to waking up within to the new reality, an ending of the old reality, but waking it up within the new. Imagine you left your physical level of existence and now you're soul. You're surrounded with a lot of souls and so on and so on in there. Okay? And all of a sudden it's like you cannot accept, right? Because you're still thinking the old way, the old reality in there. There is a great movie about this, and so I had to go ahead and look at it, what the title was, What the Dreams May Become. Okay? Very beautiful movie that kind of like explain exactly that kind of like a situations of this. All right. 10 o'clock, the inner work that it's at Aquarius is going to be tied up to Chiron, but it's also is going to be looking at of developing these new standards. You see, the standards of society, culture, and religion develop the standards for the family. But if you have to develop a new standards, the new way, what do you have to do? You have to change. You have to evolve. You have to go beyond the old structure. And that's the rebellion of Aquarius. Okay? We're going to see some of these energies, but there's going to be dealing with these energies. Probably we're talking about 1800 years from now. Much more. Okay? But right now we are just getting started up. So we're going to get the glimpses. Okay, we're going to get the glimpses. In the next 20 years, we're going to get some lot of glimpses of this as Pluto is going to be transiting to Aquarius, but we're going to see some things that goes on. All right, 11 o'clock, the inner work is going to be with Mercury retrograde and the North Node. You're going to be reevaluating what did you think and what did you want. Because with the think and want and what it is, those are 2-3 different things. Okay? So here is that you recognizing the patterns that whatever right now you're trying to plan for the future doesn't work and you're wondering why. Because the future is going to be developed on the basis of the principles of what you're doing today. You can think about, you can be mindful, you can go in there and so on. But when you look at it, how much time you're spending into the future, what do you do today about this future? Do you do something or you do nothing? Right? And this is separations between fantasies, visions, and illusions. Okay? And you're going to see within yourself, because that's the purpose of this Mercury retrograde, to divide this. 11 o'clock also the ascendant is going to be with Jupiter. That is the growth. This energy is going to be coming into the growth. She's going to be growing those new patterns in there, because you're going to figure out that the way you kind of like were forced in a certain ways of the culture, of belief, of religions, and so on, how you have to behave. Now, the soul, the spiritual evolution is asking you to be a completely different way, right? And you're kind of like the old has to go. Yes, the old has to go. And you're waking up within the new and you're wondering, how should I do it? You have an intuition. The intuition, it is the GPS within the soul. Okay? When you touch your intuition within the soul, she is the GPS. Okay? She gives you the guidance. 12 o'clock, very beautiful energy. That is going to be the energy of the new moon into acceptance. That's how it goes. It's all blue, right? I like that. Okay? A lot of synchronizations with Uranus, synchronizations with Pluto, right? And we have some 4 planets right now in there together with the inner work makes 5. So right now we're going to get all the synchronizations from within us. What is the synchronizations? Those are the things that it comes in and they says, okay, this is what works for you. This is what works for you. Okay? Whatever we can give you, you can work with it. Today, maybe we're going to give you this, you're going to work with it. Tomorrow, we're going to give that, we're going to work on it. I guess he's going to be more happy about this. Aquarius. You got Aquarius in there because Aquarius likes different things. That's what this is. All right, 1 o'clock. The inner work is going to be right now triggering, particularly as we're talking about. And I open up with this because this is a very interesting energy. The inner work is going to be with Venus. And here is about that when the things doesn't work is like oh, you know what, this things doesn't work, I'm gonna need some help. Oh, that things doesn't work, I need some help. Do you grow with all this when you ask other people to help? And you are able to find the answers from within yourself. Of course, when you are 1 year old baby, you could not change your diaper by yourself. You know, mom or dad has to feed you. You gotta get bath because you cannot do a bath in yourself. But right now you're grown up, right? Can you be able to mature in that particular way? What do you think about love and values towards others? Right? Some of the people are still thinking about like, okay, I'm very old. My daughters and my sons, they have to care for me, right? All these old energies that it comes in and there. Right now, everything is just different. Preparations for taking care of the things. Okay? All right, well, how's that going to go? We're going to see some at 2 o'clock that the inner work is going to be at the end of Aries. That's going to be beginning of Taurus. That's going to be a squaring Pluto. Of course, nobody likes these transformations. Ascendant is at Leo. That is going to be putting more into the perspective of create this new character of yours. So if your character that you're building now is matching your soul, you're going to be embodying the soul. That's one of the things getting more interesting. And we want to know about this because the ascendant is 150 degrees with Mars. Right? We're talking about that growth within the soul, within actions, active souls. 3 o'clock, the inner work is going to be a Taurus. Material things are going into perspective. If you're trying to do something about 3 o'clock and try to put planning perspective or talking about the expansions, new deals, or new places, new job, or new garden, new farm, new house, material things, okay, Taurus. You're going to find out that the things is going to be a very well. But the ascendant that it comes in, it's going to be a squaring Uranus. Is like, don't make it this just because on a kind of like a temporary thing. You're building something that it's stable. You need to understand, Taurus likes to build things stable, permanent, by his laws. And I build it, you enjoy it, it's permanent. All I ask is don't push me, don't rush me, and I'll do it in my own pace. That's the Taurus. And they don't like to take things personally. They can take too much stuff, but when they're crossing the line, they turn into a bull and watch for it. The horns are coming. All right, ascendant is going to be 150 degrees with the sun. This is going to be the moment when you start realizing as the sun it's entering the 29 degrees of Pisces. That is when you really putting that authority within yourself. Where you're letting it go of the old authority within you is just going to be like removed out. Okay. You're still going to have some of the memories. You still have to keep it up in there. If you did it properly, the inner work within yourself, you're going to see how this new authority that right now it's about to give birth from within you, how that is going to be really, really, really working things out. Because you're going to get what? The visions and the clarity. Because guess what? When you are born, you have the visions, the connections with the mother inside of the womb, right? But when you are born, you open the first thing, you open what? Your mouth. The second thing you open is your eyes. But you start see the visions. You're coming to this new, different existence, right? And this is going to be, the sun is going to be entering areas, and we're going to see these new visions tomorrow. All right, putting the things together, 4 o'clock, the divine energies of as the ascendant is going to be from the past comes in. Hopefully, you put yourself together, and the past, it's still within you, but you are recognizing that this is the past, and you have to go to a totally new ways of putting the puzzle of your sub-selves from within you. I mean, you have the feminine, the masculine energies. You have the mother, the father, okay, energies within you. You gotta make the transition of this little girl, right, to a young lady. That young lady that turns to a nice young woman. Then the woman has to become mother. Then the mother becomes what? The wise woman. The wise woman becomes what? The queen, right? Those are the archetypes. It's the same thing as a masculine. Right? You become this young boy, then this mature young man, then that young man turns to a what? To this man that needs to be ready and has to mature to prepare himself to become a father. And then he needs to become what? A wise man. And the wise man becomes the king, right? Those are the kind of like things that he needs to be looked from within. But it's also, where is your love and the value? Where is your intuition? Where is your authority? Where is the warrior within you? Where is the communicator, the thinker? Because the talker and the thinker, they're the same way, right? So all this energies is going to start coming up and put in totally different perspective, but you're going to have a lot of dualities, right? We talk about those dualities about 4 and 5 o'clock. They are about Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Okay, that is going to be also this 5 o'clock energy, but that energy is going to be more about where is your love and the values. If you look at it, the love and the values right now, particularly that Venus is squaring Jupiter, usually that that is at the time, because this is going to be kind of like a third quarter. Okay, if you would take in the sun and the moon, okay, every pretty much 3 weeks, 21 days, we're seeing it what, the third quarter moon. But if you look at it, that Venus right now, it's like the third quarter. If the Jupiter is the sun. So the love and the values right now about family has been what? Triggered. So you're going to be searching the love and the values in there. All right, 6 o'clock, this is going to be again one of those Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius duality, but that is also is going to be pointed out as the moon. It's already moved at the 8 degrees of Aries, and we're going to see some that the moon pretty soon is going to be start going more towards Venus to understand this conflict, to understand these energies. Like the mother goes in there to understand why the baby's crying, maybe the baby is sick. The mothering instinct kicks in. And we're going to see how this energy is going to be affecting within us. Okay? But as I said, learn that psychology stuff. You're going to learn a lot about things for within your own self. I highly suggest you to look at it, what the psychology says about the first year of getting into your baby. Because you and the baby is the same thing. Just thinking about that way. All right, lack of balance. Yes, there's going to be a lack of balance at 7 o'clock. The inner work that it's going to be at Cancer right now, it's beginning to squares everything in Aries, right? Squares ascendant at Libra, and we're going to see some challenges within cardinal signs. We're going to start seeing that the cardinal signs are having this particular energies like, oh my God, what should I do? It's good energies, and you'd beginning right now with Aries is very beautiful energies, but be mindful if you're what an opposite side of Libra. And this is why whatever the new things it comes in, you're trying to push it, whatever the new things is, into your partner. But your partners also have some new things. And guess what? There is no balance. So you have to learn how to work these things out. It's the same thing. Mars right now is trining Jupiter. Venus is squaring Jupiter. So you have to look at the actions of the soul that comes in and tells you where to slow down. Okay? I'm not expecting some people to have some issues with their relationships, which is going to be caused later on at 8 o'clock. That kind of like energy is going to be started, or kind of like a rising up. Okay? I mean, this is a fire and air. When those two get together, right, they can create a lot of damage, right? And we're going to see some of those unhealed wounds. Hopefully you healed a lot in there, because the ascendant is going to be opposing Chiron, and the inner work at Cancer is going to be a squaring Chiron. This is the inner child wounds, but at the same time is the wounded healer. That wounded healer that right away likes to help everybody and so on and so on and so on. But when you help everybody, do you allow them to learn how to grow on themselves? Boom. You're going to have to learn and discern where to help, who to help, how to help. Right? All right, 9 o'clock. This is going to be timing for this divine balance. We're going to see some of these energies. Saturn is going to be involved a lot with these energies. The Sun, Neptune. We see some Uranus, who is right now in Taurus. If you have anything at the end of Libra, God bless your soul. You're feeling these energies. You know how to finalize things to create a balance. Okay? You know how to finalize the things to make a balance. All right, 10 o'clock, the inner work is going to be at Leo. This is going to be the character of this wounded healer, right? You will learn where to be and how to be. Hopefully you do. Hopefully. Ascendant is going to be at Scorpio. This is going to be a lot of emotions. This is going to be a lot of emotions, put it in there. But with some of those emotions, there's going to be a comes in that particularly the Ascendant is going to be looking at into the moon and to the Venus, because the moon right now it's at 10 degrees. Venus is at 16. And right now this 150 degrees energies of the Ascendant, it shows up. Here is that divine path. Do you depend on your parents? Do you still live with your parents? Do you live in a comfort zone? Do you waiting for others to create a comfort zone for you? Do you want the dinner to be served but not to cook? Right? Those are kind of like of things that right now Venus is going to have some hard time, because she needs to learn how to give a love and values towards others, not just asking for it, like the baby asking from mama. All right, 11 o'clock, the inner work is going to be some with the South Node at Virgo. This is going to be the duality that it comes in. Of course, you can go ahead and call yourself a different names, but it's like, what is this duality? I cannot stop thinking about these two different scenarios, dear. Okay? We're going to have this for a little bit more. Just hang tight, because down to dualities, they're going to leading to what? To going forward. Okay? Thinking about it as a cucumber seed. Do you know what the cucumber seed does? When the cucumber seed it's opened, so there is a two big main leaves are open. That's the dualities. And then in the middle, the actual cucumber begins to grow. That's how you have to look. Okay. And we're going to see some of these energies a little bit more clear because the intuition wants to learn. What is this shadowing side? What is this shadowing things that has to be done in there? I know that currently we are living a lot into the shadow, and we're going to be living a lot into the shadow until October. Okay? But that doesn't mean we have to stop evolving. We have to stop doing the inner work. We have to stop progressing. We have to progressing despite the challenges. And that's what the part of the evolution is. Okay, guys? So that's what it was, the astrogravitational report. And I'm going to be giving you March 20th, 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, 7 o'clock in the morning, we're going to see some, the moon and Venus, they're going to be very close. They're going to be about 2 degrees apart. Emotionally, expect some situations from within, particularly that, don't mix personal with professional. At the same time, personal with family, intermediate family, and so on and so on. This is going to be some big time no. I hopefully get that in there. And with that energy, the moon wants to see what it was about this shadow. I have to investigate that problem. So that's what you need to do. Investigate it. Why you have that problem about the love and values with the work and with the family. They're all related. And what is the relationship in there? That it's you, and on the other side it's relationship. So take a look what you have in Aries and what you have at Libra. Okay, guys, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your clicks, likes, shares, and subscribes. And if this report helps you, come back tomorrow for another astrogravitational report. Much love to you guys.